The people who sold Manhattan to Peter Minuit did not have the authority to sell it. And in fact, it wasn't really regarded as selling, because the category ownership is itself a social category. That under capitalism, ownership means the complete right to handle, modify, use, or alienate a material or a piece of land. In other cultures, it's not the case. Instead of outright ownership, the right to sell, for instance, what you have is the right to grant use. Let's say you can grant somebody the right to go through your territory, to drink the water, maybe to harvest something, or maybe I have crops, but I give you the right to graze your animals in the stubble afterward. Or somebody might have special rights to dig rock, to make tools. So the category ownership itself is not a natural, obvious one, but something which evolves historically. And cultures have a very rich complexity in their notion of the right to use nature. Now, with the colonial period, you start getting mixtures of capitalist land right with traditional land right. And that's one of the problems that's still being fought out in South Africa, particularly in relation to the AIDS epidemic, where farmers will die, adults die, leaving teenage children. And so what happens to the land they had access to? Well, this was land that was allocated to them, perhaps by a sub-chief, who's a cousin, for the purposes of production. But the kids can't produce it, so what do you do with the land? Well, the sub-chief might appoint a trustee, who is also a relative. But at the same time, the trustee is already living in a world with markets, and might try to sell that land out from under the children. So a lot of conflict is developing as a result of the AIDS impact on the access to the land.